Hello, 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 and welcome. How excited I am to be here with each and every one of you. It is Thursday on May 14th. Wow, it's the 14th of May already. And I'm just really happy to be here with each and every one of you. Anyway, before I dive in, I'm going to ask that if you are with me right now to go ahead and share, like, and comment. Share this out to your groups as I always say, I'm sure I'm going to share a nugget or two that will resonate with you, and you're definitely going to want to share this with your friends as well. So I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to go ahead and hit that little arrow, share this out to my groups, letting everybody know that I am here. And we're going to have a nice conversation. We're going to dive in and go from there. And then I'm going to see if I can just type in some people, let them know that I am here. It's a rarity. It's a gift. It's exciting to be here with each and every one of you. And see what we are going to learn today. And of course, I'll introduce myself, as I always do. Just giving everybody a minute just to come on, just to connect. If you are here from watching on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching from X, welcome. And of course, if you're watching from Facebook, please go ahead and put some comments in the comment section. Say hi, let me know where you're chiming in from. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm very excited to be here with you, as I am Reverend Dr. Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I am the founder of Holistic Fitness NY. As someone who has guided women over 40 in releasing emotional weight without dieting while holding space as they gain confidence and courage to walk away from their 9 to 5, outdated relationships, and old subconscious beliefs. I'm here to witness. My mission is to witness each and one of you as you step into your soul's calling and do it unapologetically, transparently, and wholeheartedly. I'm super excited to be here with you today. And today's topic is all about navigating your health, fitness, wellness through astrology. After all, I like to say your astrological chart is really your navigation system. Just as you would get in your car and turn on your GPS to get you from one place to another, I believe we should do the same with our astrological makeup. So all that being said, I'm going to invite you just to take a breath and to let go of any expectations you may have for today. And also sit with the idea of the possibility of learning something you did not know before. Being open to using what you learned today. And anything that may be a little overwhelming, confusing, or unbelievable, just put it aside for now and come back later. Because with the conversation I am going to share with you today, some of this information, if you are new to astrology, may be a little overwhelming. Now, one of my key components is to be able to work with you, speak with you, share with you, and share experiences that I've had so you can better relate to whatever it is that I've gone through, to how I use my astrological makeup to navigate my everyday life. I also ask that you take this time today, right now, just to be in the moment to listen. And if you want to jot down a note here and a note there, feel free to do. But then come back later and rewatch the video again. And maybe a third time. And then after the third time, come back and take notes. and see what you learned about yourself. I always suggest that you have your astrological chart handy so you can follow along. Now, if you don't have an astrological chart, no worries. You can always go back later and get yourself one. They are at astro.com. Very simple. You just Google it, type in personal natal chart. You'll put in the information that is being asked of you, which is usually your full name on your birth certificate, time you were born, the date you were born, and the city you were born in. Now, if for whatever the reasons are you don't have the time you were born, just go, if your mom's still here, your dad's still here, just go and ask them if they can remember the time you were born. And if you cannot remember the time you were born, or they don't know the time you were born, no worries. There's still so many ways that you can access your chart. You may not have the houses to your chart, but you will have it. You will be able to have a chart, and then of course you and I can have a conversation one-on-one to dig a little deeper to finding out what those houses may actually be. So today I am here to share with you the energy we have going on as we speak. Now again, think about astrology like a weather report. Just as you would maybe turn on your radio or check in on your phone or turn on your TV to see what the weather is going to be like, whether you need a hat, whether you need an umbrella, whether you need snow boots, or whether you need to put on a tank top. We want to do the same thing in regards to astrology, because how we navigate through our everyday is really based on the energies of where our planets are. So for today, I'm going to speak about 4 planets. And I know that may seem like a lot of planets, but in the reality of things, yeah, it's a lot of planets. And I'm doing my best to keep it simplified. So here we go. The 4 planets I'm going to speak on will be Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun. Now, one of the common factors that each of these planets have in common is that each of them rotate from one zodiac sign to another frequently. So, for example, when we talk about Mercury, Mercury will travel from one zodiac sign to another within the 3-week period, unless it's retrograde. And we'll talk about a retrograde later, if we have time. Venus takes about 5 to 6 weeks to travel through that zodiac sign. Mars takes about 8 weeks, and the Sun usually is about every 20 days or so, something like that. These planets, specifically Mercury, Venus, and Mars, these are the planets that really dictate what it is we're doing in the course of our day every day. Mercury, I'm going to sum it up in one word for each planet so it doesn't get overwhelming. Mercury is your communicator. How you communicate to all the different people you communicate with, especially yourself and your physical body. Venus is your values. How you value the relationships you're in, how you value the relationship you have with yourself. Mars is the action. What action are you going to take in regards to how you communicate and how you value? The Sun literally is shining down on the area of your life that these planets are in. So when we think about our planets, the planet energy is associated with the what? What is happening in your life? What is happening in your life? So when we speak about Mars, Mars is the what? What is happening? Whatever zodiac sign Mars is in, that zodiac sign is the how. And then whatever house that zodiac sign is in is the where. So we have the what, the where, and the how based on the planets, the houses, and the signs. So we are getting ready to experience a transition as of this weekend. So as of May 17th through May 20th, within a 4-day period, we are going to experience a shift where Mercury is going to move out of Taurus, where it is currently. Venus is going to move out of Gemini, where it is currently. Mars is going to move out of Aries, where it is currently. And the Sun is going to move out of Taurus, where it is currently. And why is this such a big deal? Because where these planets are currently and where they're moving to creates a different energy for you and how you are going to experience your health, experience your fitness, experience nutrition, and experience wellness. Because again, the objective here, the topic here is how to apply, how to navigate your health, fitness, wellness, nutrition, everything about health through your astrology chart. And how this does play a big role and why it's so important for you to understand your astrological makeup so you can better understand how to navigate that area of your life. After all, I firmly know and believe that we have been programmed and conditioned to believe so much about health and fitness and wellness. And a lot of what we believe, a lot of what we've been conditioned to believe, and we're still being conditioned to believe, may not be 100% accurate for every one of us, as every one of us are different. And what I see as a personal trainer, as a astrologer, and the list goes on, is that there's a lot of practitioners out there, certified personal trainers out there who are teaching, coaching, and training with a cookie cutter approach, which is known as a one size fit all. And in theory, we're not a one size fit all. No, we're not. You are not going to have the same intentions that I have. And that's why it's so important that we take a look at our astrological makeup to better understand where we are on our journey and what it is we want to do intentionally and what is the long-term objective here to getting us to the long term. And when we do understand where these planets are in our personal natal chart and where they are collectively, it will give us a better understanding to how to go about reaching the very goal we're looking to reach when it comes to our health, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to wellness. So let's dive in. Let's have a conversation. And again, if you do not have your own personal natal chart, no worries. At the end of this video, please go over to astro.com or just Google personal natal chart and get yourself one. So this way here, you can actually look at the chart and have a better understanding to who you are on the soul level. Because once we do start defining who we are on a soul level with the understanding of who we are on a soul level, we will come away from a cookie cutter approach and all the different, I like to use the words trends and fads that we see and hear based on the health and fitness industry. I say this next expression more times than I can count, and that is there's absolutely nothing healthy about the health and fitness industry based on what we are being programmed and conditioned to believe. So a few things I want to just put out there right on the back, and you can write this down on paper now or you can write it later. that I am not an advocate, that I do not advocate. I said in my introduction, I, as someone that guides women to releasing emotional weight without dieting, that is the key focus. This is not a diet plan. This is not restriction. This is not limitation. Restriction, limitation, and dieting creates a lot of low frequency energy that shows up in that frequency of our body, which can very well show up as a word that you may be familiar with, inflammation. So if you are holding inflammation in your body, and that may show up as stiffness or even pain, it could be a probability that you are creating restriction and limitation in your life. And this is not just relating to your health, fitness, and wellness goals. This is in reference to the entire life. Because how you approach one thing in your life is how it's going to spill over to other things in your life. So we want to be mindful of those words. So if you are currently working with a coach or a trainer, and they're using the words calorie deficit, walking 10,000 steps a day or more, and just the word restriction, those are right off the back three words, three red lights, three warning lights that you may not be working with someone that's in alignment to what it is you're looking to accomplish. And I think the word I was looking for was red flags. So we want to be mindful. We want to be mindful. So again, we're gonna work on letting go of the words calorie deficit, dieting, and restrictions, and of course those 10,000 steps or more. We want to be mindful of that. And if you are working with a trainer, a coach, or even nutritionist that uses those terms, right off the back, there is your red flags. Those may be the people you want to walk away from because they are working with old philosophies. Now, why do I use the word old philosophy? And the reason is, as I say all the time, we are spiritual beings having multitudes of human experiences. And we have been conditioned to believe that restricting our calories is going to be the thing that's going to get us to the result. Whereas when in reality, especially for my ladies over 40, when you restrict your calories, what you're doing is actually restricting your energy because calories are energy. And if you are working really, really hard to get to those results where you are disciplined at getting your workouts in 4 or 5 days a week, the last thing you want to do is deprive your muscle of energy and nutrients with a calorie deficit. So we want to pay attention to that. If you are depriving yourself of fueling your body, you're not going to fuel your muscles. You want to pay attention to that. And again, these are just simple words to remember. If you're hearing the word calorie deficit from a person that you might be following on TikTok or Instagram, or you're working with somebody, right off the bat, you know that that's not your person because you do not want to be in a calorie deficit. You want to be working with a nutritional plan that's going to fuel your muscle, to give you the energy you need to support your muscle. And this goes the same for someone who may be in the pathway of wanting to compete. Even with do bodybuilding competition, fitness competition, bikini competitions, there's a whole different approach to how you can go about to get to that level of fitness without the restrictions and limitations that we have been programmed and conditioned to believe for so many years. Another word I want to throw at you to keep in mind of, to listen to be aware, which is not a red flag, is learning how to tap into your intuition. Being led by your intuition, because we are intuitive beings. And learning how to tap into whether or not this is the right thing for you by checking in with your body. Now, bringing the planets into this, that would be the Mercury Venus energy, because Mercury is about communicating with your physical body, having a conversation with your physical body, asking your physical body, does this protocol work best for me, my soul, my spirit? And knowing what your yes and no's are. Because when you really learn how to tune yourself to your intuition, and your intuition guides you to what is the right way for you, you can't really go wrong that way. And sadly to say, there's so many practitioners out there, professionals out there, who are just guiding many of you the wrong, the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I'm not gonna use the word the wrong way, but the old-fashioned way. We've grown so much in this industry as spiritual beings that we need to start really being aligned to who we are as a spiritual being. So I want to dive in regarding these planets that we're talking about, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun, and how they're playing a role collectively as we're transitioning. And why is this so important? Why am I choosing to share this information with you? Because reality of it all, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun, they change all the time. So it's not like this whole big thing like, oh my God, it's the first time in a lifetime when we had the outer planets that changed. Why I'm sharing this with you is because these 4 planets are going to transit, move out of a zodiac sign within a 4-day period of each other. And that's really where this energy is important, because it's a short period of time where we're going to experience a lot of energy. And when we experience a lot of energy in a short period of time, that's going to impact our nervous system. That's going to impact our chakra system. And that's going to impact who we are and how we experience. It's going to impact our thought process. It may definitely impact our sleep pattern. It may definitely impact how we understand everything going forward. Big shifts are happening during these next 4 days with these 4 planets that are getting ready to move. So we want to pay attention. So we're going to look at May 17th through May 20th, and we're going to get an understanding to where these planets are going and why is this such a big deal, and how to utilize this energy for your health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness goals going forward. So we think about Mercury moving out of Taurus, which is all about the physical body. Taurus is about the physical body. It's one of the things that Taurus is related to. Moving into Gemini, Mercury moving into Gemini, it's its home. So it's going to be very happy there. So this is a beautiful time with Mercury moving into Gemini for all of us to really become more intuitive and attuned to our physical body, to how to connect with our physical body. This is a perfect time to shift things up regarding how you are approaching your specific fitness and wellness goals, your short-term and long-term, and what type of programs you're working with, and how to navigate letting something go and introducing something new. So with Mercury in Gemini, because Gemini is the communicator, Gemini is let's talk about it. Gemini is about finding the people you want to connect with in your community. So you may find that you're looking for people that are like-minded like you, that talk about fitness, that talk about nutrition, that talks about astrology, all in one place. So you can grow together and get the results you're looking for on a spiritual and soulful level. So when we speak about Mercury in Gemini as of May 17th through June 1st, so it's not really a long period of time. It's 3 weeks that we have this opportunity. Now, those of you who do carry your sun, moon, or ascending in Gemini, this is a big period for you, because this is where things are going to become really intensified, especially for those of you who do have your Gemini in your first house, which is your rising sign, because this is all about self. This is all about how you can go ahead and retrain your brain, because Gemini is brain, Gemini is intellectual, how to retrain your brain to release old habits and beliefs and philosophies that really are no longer aligned to what you're looking to accomplish. So this way here you can start to see the results you're looking to see. So for example, if you're my ladies over 40 and you're still doing high repetitions and low weight, that's outdated. No longer aligned to you. You're not going to get results that way. You need to do something that's going to be less taxing on your nervous system and more rewarding on your metabolic system. So you can see the results you're looking to see. It's not about getting bulky, it's about getting strong. In fact, bulky for women is a myth because theoretically, we're not going to train at that type of level and capacity to put on that type of size, for one. And if you're over 40, that's not happening anyway. That not on a natural level. Anyway, so we have to pay attention to that. So this is your time now with Mercury moving into Gemini to review, especially if you are working with a trainer and you're in that rep range of high reps and working with lightweight, or you're moving to a circuit training, or you're doing combination exercises versus compound exercises. This is where it's time to retrain your brain for different philosophy. That's that Mercury energy, especially for my ladies over 40. So important for my ladies over 40. Ladies, you have to remind yourself you're not 30 anymore and you're not 20. So what you used to do when you were 20 and 30, you're definitely not doing in your 40s, 50s, and above. When I was in my 20s and 30s, was teaching 5 classes a day. Aerobic, step, low impact, spin, you name it, I did it. I'm 56. There's no way in hell I'm teaching 5 aerobic classes a day. Not happening, and nor should I. My nervous system would not allow that. It would literally cause your nervous system to go into overdrive to do all of that. Same concept as going for my ladies over 40. We don't want to be doing all this type of cardio. Those 10,000 steps a day, 15,000 steps a day or more, tracking those steps. For what? It's creating stress to your body. There's no need for it. There's no benefit to it. In fact, I actually did a recording. You go to my YouTube channel and find it, where I talked about where that myth of 10,000 steps come in and why that number became such a popular thing. Go check out that article. Go check out that video. If you want me to send you the article, just put in the comments if you're watching from Facebook. Put in the comments you want that article. I'll send it over. You can find on my YouTube channel that video, because I dedicate a whole live to it. So we want to come away from this idea of thinking we have to do 10,000 steps a day or 15,000 steps a day to meet our specific goals. My recommendation for my ladies over 40 is to exert your energy with your heavy lifting. And of course, when we talk about strength training and being healthy and living for longevity, first thing on your mind is, well, what about my heart? Through your strength training, you're going to be working your heart. There is absolutely no way you're not working your heart when you're strength training. Your heart is going to get a workout. Now, I'm not suggesting not to walk at all. I'm just suggesting there's no need for 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day to stress yourself out. Anything that's going to cause stress to your body in that capacity is creating stress to your nervous system. We no longer want to stress out nervous system, because that's where issues come in with weight gain, because we're inflaming our body. So that's that Mercury Gemini energy, where it will be there for 3 weeks. An opportunity to have a conversation with your physical body, to ask your physical body what it needs and what it no longer needs. So you can get to the results you're looking to get in the most safest way and building towards longevity. Focusing more on functional movement, focusing more on compound movement, focusing more on heavy weight and lighter reps. And heavy weight for anybody at the starting point is going to be different. So for you, a heavy weight could be 5 pounds, and a progressive period over time could be about 6 to 8 weeks where you're progressing. But 8 weeks later, you need to progress. You can't still be working that 5 pounds. Most of my ladies over 40, I guarantee you can probably lift more than 5 pounds. I can guarantee that. Unless you're under 5'2", maybe you're a tinier version of you. Maybe you're only, maybe 5 feet, 4'9", and you're not that strong. Maybe 5 pounds might be your starting point. But whatever your starting point is, you have to progress. You may be someone who has orthopedic issues. Maybe you have a shoulder injury or an impinged shoulder or rotator cuff. Maybe you have issues with your hips or knees. So you have to start lighter, but there's a progression. The other thing I definitely recommend is that you do not do this alone, especially if you are just starting your health fitness journey. You do not want to do this alone. You don't want to rely on watching a videotape or going and watching someone who's on TikTok doing their workout or teaching you something and they cannot see you. If they cannot see you, you're at a higher risk of injury. It doesn't matter that they're going live. It doesn't matter that I'm live right here. If I was trying to teach you something right now, I can't see you. I have no idea if you're doing it right. And I'm not going to rely on hoping you're doing it right, because by hoping you're doing it right puts you in a window of injury. So we have to come out of this idea of thinking, well, I can do my workout. I don't need to hire a trainer. I can do my workout through a TikTok video, or I can, whatever. We want to come away from that idea, especially in the beginning stages of your training. You really do want to have a different approach. After all, this is taking you into longevity. You want to live a long time strong and healthy, injury-free. So, Mercury in Gemini, that's communicating with your physical body. That's reviewing what you've been doing. And is there results? And are you looking for more results? Now, when we talk about Venus, Venus is currently in Gemini energy, helping you to really tap into that communication. And it's getting ready to move into Cancer, where we get to really nourish our body, because Cancer is home. I like to divide Cancer into our home, which is shelter and family, our home, which is our career, and our home with our body. So when Venus moves into Cancer, it's going to be about how are you connecting with your physical body? How are you helping your body? How are you valuing your body? Now, again, just like I said with the Mercury Gemini and hiring a trainer, the idea is that you want to focus on valuing you. If you value yourself, if you want to value to your health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness, and you're just starting out, or maybe you've been doing this for a while, but you're just not seeing results, aren't you worth the investment to working with someone that's going to A, hold you accountable, and B, more importantly, make sure you're doing it correctly? Because it really only takes one wrong movement to get hurt, and there you go. Like, I've been doing this for over 4 decades. I have witnessed many people who've come to me after working with a trainer that wasn't really seasoned, or working with videos and end up doing something wrong, and now they're injured, and now we have to work through an injured area to help them get stronger, to rehab that injured area, which is one of my specialties as well. As I am a rehab, I am a specialized rehab trainer as well. So I bring that into the equation. So if you happen to be someone who has orthopedic issues, or you've had surgery, whatever have you, I work that into the equation of what we're doing. So going back to our Venus Cancer energy, Venus will move into Cancer on May 18th, which is on Monday, and we'll be there until June 13th. So with this energy, it's giving you an opportunity to, how do you want to nourish your body? Now, when I use the word nourish, I want you to be clear. I want you to really understand the word nourish. Nourish means a couple of things. Nourish means, how are you fueling your body? What are you giving your body so it can have the energy you're looking for it to have, so it can be strong? How are you nourishing your body? So that's the fueling, that's the food. Then we talk about nourishment in reference to the people you hang around with. How are they nourishing you? How are they feeding your thoughts? What are they saying? Are they helping you keep your vibration high, where they're using words like magnificence and excitement and courageousness and encouragement? Or when you're around them, are they constantly complaining about whatever they're complaining about? Because that's nourishment. So you're around people who complain a lot, that's not good nourishment. Because that means once you're done hanging with them, now you got to go and recharge your body because you've taken all that energy in. And that creates inflammation in your body. So when we think about Venus and Cancer, is how do you value? Are you valuing the relationship you have with your body and the relationships you have with others? Are the other people you're surrounding yourself fueling you, helping to raise your frequency? So when you leave them, you feel really great. Or are you constantly trying to help them feel better? Now, I have a philosophy, and that philosophy is if you did not hire me to help you feel better, then guess what? That's not my job. My job is not to help you feel better. Yes, I want to come into your company, and I definitely want to leave you feeling better than you were before I came into your company. But when I used to feel better, my job is not there to go through realigning your energy field. So if I'm constantly sitting there saying, "Oh, how are you feeling? What can I do to help you?" that then drains my energy. And if you're not my client and you're draining my energy, that means I'm valuing you more. I'm valuing you. I am giving you more value than I'm giving myself. So we need to start to pay attention. And that might, in your mind, show up as being selfish, but it's not about being selfish. It's actually about being selfless to yourself. And it helps you to become more aware of the people you are hanging out with and recognizing, like, what is the energy of the people I hang out with? Are they high vibration? Are they exciting? Is the conversations uplifting? Am I learning something from them about myself? Because that's the key thing you want to think about. You want to learn something about you from somebody else. So the people you're hanging out with, are they teaching you something about you? Or by the time you get off that conversation, do you feel drained? Do you feel tired? Do you feel like, oh, if you see that call coming in from that person, do you say, oh, they're calling again? Or do you get excited? That's that Venus Cancer energy. We want to nourish our bodies. In addition to the people you're hanging out with, then we also want to pay attention to the nourishment we're getting in regards to internet, through TV, through radio. What are we listening to? What are we feeding our brain with? What are we learning? By the end of your day, the question that you want to ask yourself is, what did I learn about me today? And how can I apply whatever it is I learned into my day? So what you learned today about you from yesterday, you get to apply that into your day today. And it continues. Because that's the nourishment that's coming from Venus and Cancer. It's learning how to nourish your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul. Cancer is known as the mama bear. Cancer is also known as wanting to be within themselves, wanting to quiet, stay cozy. And in Venus, this is exactly what you want to evaluate. You want to have those people in your life that's going to fill you up, not the people that's going to drain you. Now let's move on to Mars. Mars will be moving into Taurus on May 18th, the same day that Venus moves into Taurus. That Venus moves. Now, I'm going to share the time with you on this one. The energy of Mars and Venus. Mars will move into Taurus at 6:25 p.m. And Venus will move into Cancer at 9:05 p.m. So there's about a 3-hour difference between Mars and Venus moving in the evening hours. So on Monday, the 18th, we will start the morning off with both Venus and with both Mars and Venus. Mars in Aries in its happy place, and then by the end of the day, it will move into Taurus. And then Venus will be in Gemini in the morning, and by the end of the day, move into Cancer. So I want you to pay attention to how your energy may shift with both Venus and Mars moving at the end of the day. And why is that important? When we talk about Mars and Venus, we're also talking about what's called the yin and yang energy. Venus is the feminine energy, it's the receiving energy, and Mars is the masculine and the action energy. And when we have planets that are actually moving, like literally from morning to night into a different zodiac sign, we may very well feel that. I mean, depending on how sensitive you are with the energies, you might actually be feeling that change already. I know for me, I start to feel these energy shifts about 2 or 3 days before the energy actually shifts. And for me, when we have energy shifts, I usually have a challenging time sleeping because of these energy shifts. Because again, these energy shifts are also impacting our nervous system and our chakra system. So I want you to be mindful of that. Especially now that we're on the 14th, we're literally 3 days before these planets start to shift. So I want you to be mindful of it. So when you think about Mars moving out of Aries, which is its home place, very excited there. Just as Mercury is moving into Gemini, its home place, Mars moving out of Aries, where we had this opportunity to really take action, apply ourselves, and feel the fire. And depending on, again, your personal chart, that might have not have been pretty. You might have felt overwhelmed with Mars being in Aries because it was like really a lot of action, and maybe you weren't ready for it. So depending what that energy was like for you, again, journaling is always a good thing because then you can better understand how these planets and these zodiac signs work with you and your chart. So as Mars prepares its transit into Taurus, Taurus is stable, Taurus is slow, Taurus is grounding, it's earthy. And sometimes because it's so slow, it could be distracting, it could be overwhelming, it can be loofy, so to speak. Now the word I'm going to use is I'm going to cross reference because when we think about Mars and Venus, because Mars is moving in Taurus and Taurus is moved by Venus, those two energies are going to play very well to supporting you in valuing who you are and really helping you to reevaluate how you want to invest your money because Taurus is also money. So again, this may be the time where you might say, you know what? I do want to hire a transformational coach or a transformational trainer or whatever title you want to call to help me take better care of my body. I like to believe our body is our biggest insurance. And when we are applying health insurance to our body by providing it what it needs for longevity, we actually will not need health insurance, if that makes sense. So again, when we talk about Mars in Taurus energy as of May 18th through June 28th, this is an opportunity where you can start applying action to how you value your physical body, how you're investing in your physical body, and what works for you regarding your physical body. Remember, this is all about the connection with your astrological makeup and how these planets going to play a role with your health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness goals. And they really do. And with these 4 planets that we're speaking of today, they're really emphasizing how you can utilize this energy to help navigate through your physical body so you can become a stronger version of you. So Mars is the action. Mars is action. It's about what action do you want to take to become a stronger version of you, physically speaking, mentally speaking, emotionally speaking. And then we have the sun on May 20th moving into Gemini. So we will then have Mercury and the Sun in Gemini energy. We also have one other planet that is transiting Gemini, which we did not discuss, but it's there, and I'm going to talk about it just briefly, and that's Uranus. Uranus is the planet of disruption, chaos, rebellious, unpredictability, innovation, and thinking outside the box. And when we think about these three planets sitting in Gemini, and the sun is what's shining on you at this moment of time, in regards to what you are learning through your body. I like to believe that our body is our biggest teacher. Now, sadly, as humans, we are too quick to run to want to feel better. Now, I know that statement may sound weird. However, what I mean by that statement is when we experience a symptom, whether it's a head cold or sinus or sore throat or stiffness or even pain, right away, we want to know what we could do so we could feel better. I truly believe, and I also follow Louise Hay and Lise Baru in their belief system, that besides for the physical and science approach to whatever issues showing up in your tissues, there is a metaphysical explanation to whatever is showing up in your tissues. And rather than being so quick to want to feel better, maybe whatever it is that's showing up in your tissues is there to teach you something. So if you are experiencing stiffness, and I'll use an area, for example, when we talk about our planets and zodiac sign, every planet and every zodiac sign is associated with our body. So let's talk about Gemini, and it's associated with our body because we are going to have 3 planets in Gemini. So when we talk about Gemini's energy, we are talking about the hand, we are talking about our arms, we are talking about our neck, and we are also talking about our nervous system. That is all Gemini related. And because we are going to have 3 planets transiting in Gemini's energy, and depending on where Gemini is on your chart, if you happen to have Gemini in your big 3, which then also means you have Mercury as your ruler for your entire chart, you want to pay attention to what are you holding on to too tightly that may be time to release. That's your hands. So if you are experiencing stiffness, numbness, or swelling in your fingers, that might be an indication that you need to let go of something. And you may not be aware of what that is because it may be unconscious to you at this moment of time, but it's your body's way of letting you know that there's something out of alignment that needs to be realigned. So there's always going to be an emotional component that we always have to look at. Again, this is also what makes me stand out from the other quote unquote trainers, because this is how I work with you to help you better understand and discover what's really going on with you and your body. So again, with Gemini's energy, with these 3 planets, if you are experiencing stiffness or tightness or even arthritis in your fingers, you might have to let something go. You might have to loosen up your grip and let it go. If you're experiencing anything going on in your arms, maybe some tendonitis in the elbow or golfer's elbow, or you're experiencing shoulder issue or frozen shoulder, which again, many women in the stage of perimenopause and menopause think it's related to that, where the frozen shoulder is all the what ifs or should have. So if that's you, maybe you have to let go of the what ifs and should haves and see how that helps your shoulder. And see how, if anything, with all this Gemini energy, if all of this gets flared up. So we want to pay attention because every zodiac sign and every planet is very much associated with your physical body. And your physical body is your biggest teacher. So I'm not suggesting that if you're having discomfort or pain, that you don't go find out what it's about. But I am suggesting that once you find out what it's about, once you find out that, let's say, for example, you go to your doctor because you're suffering with sinus or sore throat or discomfort in your knee or hip, and they give you the quote unquote diagnosis, then go and research what the metaphysical explanation is to that diagnosis. Because once you understand the metaphysical explanation, you could then look at both sides of the coin. Because there's two sides to every coin. It's not just all going to be about science and logic. There's definitely going to be some metaphysical and spiritual aspects going on in your life. And when we learn to use both sides of the coin, we are then really bringing in the whole person that you are, because that W in holistic is about the whole person. You're not just your body. You are very much your emotions and your thoughts. And if you don't really start to bring that into play, then everything that you're doing in regards to your health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness is not going to get you to longevity, because you're not working your whole person. You're working just a part of it. So when we think about these 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun, and we understand that those 4 planets represent what's happening in the world, and then what's happening for you. And we now understand where they are, what zodiac sign they're in. So then we get to understand the concept of the how. How is it happening? So Mercury moving into Gemini is the how it's happening. Venus moving into Cancer is how it's happening. Mars moving into Taurus is how it's happening. The Sun moving into Gemini is how it's happening. What we need to now learn is, where is it happening? Meaning, what house? Is it happening in your first house? Is it happening in your second house? Is it happening in your sixth house? Is it happening in your 10th house? There's 12 houses to your chart. And wherever you have Taurus, Cancer, and Gemini on your chart, that's the houses that this energy is amplifying for you at this moment of time. So I'm going to run through some of the houses, not all of them, but just some of them. I'm going to hit on a few. For me, I have Cancer in my first house. So with Cancer being in my first house, I know right off the bat that Venus is transiting that first house. Now, along with Venus transiting Cancer, we also have Jupiter there. All of us have Jupiter transiting Cancer at this moment of time. Yes, at this moment of time. If you have it in your first house, it's about how you are expanding, because first house is self. First house is your identity. So we can use the identity in reference to who you are personally and who you are professionally. So if you have Cancer in your first house, that's your identity. So Venus in Cancer is going to help you work on your identity. How are you valuing you? So those of you who do have Venus in Cancer in first house, where Venus is transiting, you may very well during this transit be really focused on evaluating your income and evaluating what you want to invest in. And are you investing in your health, fitness, and wellness? Because that's what's going to take you to longevity. You want to pay attention to that. Yes. And maybe what I will do, because looking at the time, I have a little time to do it. I'm going to run through all the houses just to help you. And I'm going to flip flop through different zodiac signs. So it's not going to be just based on the Cancer rising. Okay, so just stay with me. All right, so I'm going to play with this. So if you have Gemini in your 11th house, 11th house is associated with your community. It's who you connect with and how you collaborate. So that 11th house is going to have not just Mercury there, not just the Sun there, but remember Uranus is there. So you may start to experience, well, you might actually be experiencing, because of Uranus, you might actually be experiencing some chaos going on in your community, where you're starting to notice that the people you're hanging with, remember the people you hang with are the people who's nourishing you. You may be noticing that these people are not nourishing you. You're not getting filled by them. Because when we think about nourishment is about filling us up that we feel satisfied. And if the people you're hanging with aren't satisfying you, this Mercury energy This Uranus energy and the sun's energy is going to beam on that in your 11th house. So if you have a Gemini in your 11th house, pay attention to who's in your community and how they are serving you. And if they're not serving you, this might be your time to let them go. Very important to pay attention to that. Might be your time to let them go. Excuse me. Changing devices. So that's 11th house Gemini. Okay, remember, not only do we have Mercury and the Sun in your 11th house with Gemini, Uranus is there. Uranus is going to transit your 11th house energy for the next 7 years. That's a whole different video. Right now, we're focusing on Mercury and the Sun in your 11th house. So if the people in your community that you're connecting with and hopefully collaborating with are not filling you up and nourishing you, it's time to get rid of those people. I know it might feel sad. It might be like, oh my God, but I really like them. They're not serving you. You might be serving them. But we really want to have this as a collaboration. Yes? Yes. All right. So let's talk about Taurus. Where do you have Taurus in your house? So let's say we have Taurus in the 6th house. Okay, so if you have Taurus in the 6th house, Mars is going to be transiting your Taurus placement. There aren't any other planets transiting Taurus at this moment of time. So Mars is by itself. And 6th house energy is really about your nervous system. It's about your routine. It's about your schedule. It's about health and fitness. And it's also very much about your health. So Mars transiting your 6th house placement is definitely going to bring a big impact on your health for this period of time from May 18 to June 28. So should you have Taurus in your 6th house placement, that's a focus on your health. This may be the time where you may have to evaluate your food. You may have to evaluate your routine. You may have to evaluate your rest. You may have to evaluate your sleep habits. You may have to evaluate the people you're socializing with, because Taurus energy, again, is your relationships. And if you are hanging out with people that's not filling you up, and here's a theme here. We have a theme going on here, guys. Pay attention. With these 4 planets, we have a theme. If you're hanging out with people that's not filling you up, and they're just taking from your cup, taking from your cup, taking from your cup, and you have nothing left in that cup, you have nothing left for you. And we have to pay attention to that. Because if you have nothing left for you, that means just like you do with your phone at the end of your day, you put it on the charger, you're going to have to put yourself on a charger on. And that means you have to rejuvenate yourself a lot, because the people you're hanging out with is literally taking everything you have in your cup, leaving you with nothing. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. The people you hang out with are supposed to get what's literally falling over the cup, and everything in the cup should be yours. If you have nothing in your cup, or your cup is half filled, it means the people you're hanging out with are not filling it. You really want to pay attention to this. That is that Mars Taurus energy. So if you have Taurus sitting in your 6th house during this transit, you really want to pay attention to it. All right. I still have a little time. I'm just trying to figure out. I think we're going to go with the Gemini energy, because the sun's going to move into Gemini. We're going to work through Gemini season. All right. So I have to take a note here. So if you have Gemini as your 1st house placement, all right. So for Gemini in general, all the houses, how about we do it that way? Make it simple. So you could just take the information I'm giving you for all the houses, and it just reams off the same way. So as I said, 1st house energy is yourself and your identity. So if you have any of these zodiac signs in your 1st house, so if you have Gemini 1st house, Cancer 1st house, Taurus 1st house, one of those 3, that means those planets that we just spoke about is going to sit in your 1st house. And if you have any other personal planets in your chart, those personal planets are going to play a role as well. It's going to add to your prescription, to your story. Second house energy is associated with your relationships, how you value those relationships, how you value you, or your physical material possessions, how you're spending and investing your money. That's second house. So if you have any of those signs in your second house, that's where those planets are going to sit. Third house energy is about how we communicate, what we're learning, and what we're teaching. And if you have any of those zodiac signs in your third house, that's where it's all going to be impact on. Fourth house is home. It's family. It's the energy. It's the energy that you have with your mama, and it's also the energy you have as a mama, because we're all mamas with our own body. Fourth house is about your home. It's about your career, and it's about your physical body. Fifth house is about your creativity. It's also very much about freedom. So through this energy, if you have any of those planets transiting your fifth house, it's about where you want more freedom. And again, freedom, when we talk about our body, is letting go of those restrictions, limitations, and structured routine, because that's not freedom. It's also about fifth house is about traveling as well, traveling between worlds and traveling, literally packing a bag and going. We talked about sixth house already. Seventh house is your agreements. It's your agreements. It's what you believe in, your philosophies, and your agreements. What you're married to, who you're married to. Your real estate as well. I'm sorry, not real estate. It's your agreements. Okay, that's your seventh house energy. Eighth house energy is what's going on behind the scenes. So you doing the things behind the scenes, not getting credit for it. That's the eighth house energy. It's also about eighth house energy is what you're investing in, your real estate, your property, your taxes. That's all eighth house energy. Other people's money. So how do you want to invest in something? Other people's money. If you have a business, how do you want to connect? How do you want to create? How do you want to invest? That's eighth house energy. Ninth house energy is higher consciousness. It's learning. It's tapping into your intuition. Tapping into your intuition. So those of you who have maybe Mercury in ninth house, this is really about your spirit communication. This is about attuning into your physical body. Those of you who may have Venus in your ninth house, this is about that connection of valuing what you learn, taking a deeper look at things and not looking at the things on a surface level. 10th house is your public image and your soul's purpose, what you're here to do and how the public sees you. So if you have any of those zodiac signs in your 10th house, or you have any of those planets in your 10th house, that's what that is. So for me, I have Mars in my 10th house. So Mars is helping me take the action that I need to take to be more visible in my public image, to tap into what I'm here to do on a soul level. We already talked about 11th house, and 12th house is really about your psychic gifts. It's your intuition. It's your secrets. It's what people do not know about you. Even your closest friends do not know this about you because it's your secrets. So now that you have the definition for all the 12 houses, your job now is to go and look at your chart. Even if you have no idea how to read your chart, go look at your chart and go find those 4 planets and go find those zodiac signs and get a better understanding of who you are based on your astrological makeup. Now, here's a call for action. I have a Astro Insight Play Shop that's taking place next Sunday from 7:30 to 9:30. And you're welcome to join. And what's going to happen with that play shop, it's going to become a consistent play shop where we're going to meet monthly. The next one scheduled is June 28th. So if you're not able to make the May 24th one, put on your calendar to come join me for June 28th. Now, the thing about the play shop is it's a small group of women. And I keep it small so everyone in the group can actually take advantage of the information and really learn and walk away with something. So no more than 6 women in the group. and we meet for the 2 hours. And you walk away with learning a lot about who you are. So there you have it. I am hoping that you have picked up something of what I've said. I'm hoping that you will come back and rewatch this, take some notes. And again, like I said earlier on in the in this video, was if anything I've said was confusing or wasn't resonating, just put that on the side for now. Write it down, but put it on the side, and maybe at some point it will resonate with you. Because one thing I know to be true regarding astrology, it's not something you're going to just pick up like this, unless you're a natural addict. And there's so many who may be. But I do believe that it's really important for you to start really understanding your astrological makeup, because everything in your astrological makeup, those 12 houses, play a big role on who you're here to be and how to navigate through that. And heck, if you could become stronger and healthier and live through longevity with the help of your astrological makeup, why not? Right? I think so. I think so. Why not? Why not? So my email is strolling to on the bottom, healingwithin76@gmail.com. You can also go over to my website. Right now my website's a little messy because I'm fixing it up a little bit. But you can still go over to my website, go all the way to the left top 3 lines, tap on that, then go all the way to the bottom where it says Astro Insight Play Shop. Click on that. Go ahead and sign yourself up for the May Astro Insight Play Shop class. Come join me and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Now, I do want to put out there for you all so you do understand that when I offer astrology, this is not based on predictions, and it's definitely not surface level work. We are diving deep. If you are looking for a prediction, or if you are just looking to find out if you're going to meet your soulmate, I am not the one to come to. I am not a one and done. When I give readings, 90% of the time, that client ends up having to come back because we do a follow-up. Whatever is learned through that reading, within a matter of 4 weeks, I want to see that person again. Reason being is because within that matter of time, as you just learned today, our 3 closest planets plus the sun move. So when we meet for your first astrology reading, we may have, so for example, if I meet with you today or tomorrow, we're going to have those 4 planets in a different place. By next week, those planets are going to be where I just spoke about. So the energy is going to be different. So it really is important that when you're thinking about learning about who you are on an astrological level, if you're not interested in taking my Astro Insight play shops, I definitely recommend that you get on my calendar for consistent readings to better understand what's going on. Although I think what's the way to say this? The best investment is taking advantage of my Astro Insight play shops, so you can really get to learn about you and how to navigate through these energies. That's all I'm saying. You have a choice, so you can better understand who you are. And if you are interested, I do offer a 52-week astrological course where we meet one-on-one. For 52 weeks, that's once a week. For 52 weeks, it's an hour course where we come together, one-on-one though. And I only see 3 clients for those one-on-one classes. So if you feel like coming together in a group may be too much for you because you need that private individual attention, reach out to me for the 52-week astrological course, and I'll be more than happy to get you on my schedule, setting up a 52-week course where we're going to have a specific day out of the week, a specific time. It doesn't change. Whatever that date and time is, that's what it's going to be because my schedule is that tight. So I only fit 3 people in for that. So if you are one of those 3 that would like that private course, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to offer it to you. More than happy. So again, just to recap based on how you can work with me through astrology. my Astro Insight play shop. The first one takes place this Sunday, next Sunday rather, May 24th. And then thereafter will be the last Sunday every month, unless there's a holiday, and then it will be moved up to the Sunday before, but that will be indicated. So if you want to come into a small group, 6 women, I would love to have you. If you want to reserve a spot for every month, we could do that too. You can also turn around and take advantage of readings. If you're going to do readings, like I said, it's not a one and done. Be prepared that there will be a follow-up. And most of the time on the follow-ups, I usually encourage you to join my play shops, because it's something that you really want to learn how to navigate so you can play. Now, some people pick up on astrology very quick, so you may not need my assistance continuously. And then the other way that you can work with me is through my 52-week course. I only take 3 women for that, and it's private session, so it's one-on-one. We meet for an hour for 52 weeks, and I mean 52 weeks. We meet for an hour. All right, so those are the 3 ways that you can work with me. And keep in mind, like I said, my approach to astrology is not predictive, or is it a surface level approach. We go deep. My whole mission and purpose is to literally witness you as you go through a transformation. You're transforming your physical body, your mindset, your emotions. You're discovering who you are from a soul level. And through this transformation, you're also going to work on releasing emotional weight. Now, I also do tie in my astrology program with my personal training program. So if you want to combine the two, in regards to if you're looking to start being more accountable and getting the results you're looking for to transforming your physical body, in addition to transforming your mind, body, and spirit, reach out to me and ask me about my body and soul transformational prescription plan, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that. And I do have 2 ways you can go about that. You can do it privately, and then I have a group that's going to be starting up very soon, where it will be a small group of people working virtually in a very intimate setting as well. So if you want to learn more about that, let me know. There's many ways you can work with me and really get into this lane of transforming your mind, body, spirit, and your soul. All right, there you have it. My email scrolling on the bottom. Come check me out. Continue to follow, share, like, and comment on Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, or observations, send those to healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I think there you go. There you go. I'm going to leave it there. And I do look forward to coming back and chatting more with you. We're just about, what is it? Almost like, we're about 13 minutes in. Is it 13 minutes in? Have I been live for 13 minutes? Or is that an hour and 13 minutes? I can't tell, but whatever the case is, whatever it is, it is. Anyway, until we meet again. Oh, I'm hearing pull a card. Gotta pull the card. Those cards behind me is my card deck. Let's see what we need to hear as the last thing we say for today with you. And if you are watching this on a replay, if you are watching it from Facebook, feel free to leave a comment. Let's see. There's a card. So many cards fell out, but I'm not going to read them. I love this card. Right there. Although that word manifestation, in my lighting, where is it? There we go. Manifestation, we're changing that word to women-festing. Okay? They both mean the same thing. It's just that we're eliminating the manifestation and we're focusing on the women-festing. And what's the difference? Women-festing means we're going to take away the heaviness of having to do. Because when we talk about manifesting, it's putting the work behind. There's 4 laws to manifestation, or 4 laws to women-festing. And that is, you ask, you believe, you receive, but then there's action oriented that goes into that. So that's the same concept. When you ask, you believe, you receive, and you open yourself to actually taking the action without the heaviness. The number 19 is very much associated with doing something new and letting something old go. Almost carrying the energy of the Mars and the Venus energy. And it really is about when one thing is ready to be let go of, something new is going to come in. That works out to be that one energy. So there is a new thing coming through. All this energy we have, where 4 planets within 4 days are moving from one zodiac sign to another, we are all moving into a different direction. None of us are going to be doing the things we were doing before the same way because our planets are changing. And that happens. With Mars, it happens every 8 weeks. With Venus, it happens every 5 to 6. With Mercury, it happens every 3. So we need to pay attention to how this energy is happening. The color purple, it's about your higher consciousness. It's about learning how to tap into who you are from a higher level, which is why it's so important to pay attention to the people you're associating with, because if they are not fueling you up, if they are not keeping your vibration high, means they are draining you. And once they are draining you, that's going to create stress in your nervous system. And that's going to create inflammation in your body. And that's when we get to the place where we're not feeling well. So it's really important to start paying attention to the people you're hanging around with. Recognize who the people are that you're there to elevate them. And do what you can to elevate them. And if you find that you're constantly in that space of constantly elevating them, and after so many moments of time of being around them, then you get to decide. And like I said, with these closer planets, Venus, Mars, and Mercury, where they move, I'm not sure if I need to charge my phone, charge my thing or not. Let me see. It keeps beeping. Anyway, so when we think about these 4 planets, it gives us a chapter. It gives us a period of time to when we can reevaluate. And that's a timeline that we want to keep in our mind. So when we have the sun that's beaming on us in whatever zodiac sign it's in, such as moving out of Taurus into Gemini, this is a time to reevaluate. Where out of Taurus and into Gemini, who do we want to attract that's going to teach us something? Who do we want to attract that we could teach them something? That's that Gemini energy. Who are we connecting to and how are we communicating? What are the conversations we're having? Are we talking about things that gets us excited? Or are we talking about things that we're venting? Now, I personally believe that if you're going to talk to somebody and all you're doing is venting to them, they need to see a therapist. And unless they're paying you to be their therapist, you can't sit there and hold that energy for them while they vent. Not all the time. Because you really have to start valuing your own energy. So you need to start to really pay attention to the connections you have. And this is related to family too. If you have family that constantly vent, complain, you have to ask yourself, how is this feeding my soul? Because the expression, I think you're all familiar with soul food. Yeah, so we need to pay attention. And our planets really do help us to recognize when a chapter ends to when a chapter begins, especially those 4 planets we just spoke about. Mercury, 3 weeks. 3 weeks unless it's retrograde. And then we get a chance to review. Mars, which is the action, 8 weeks. What action? So if you have someone you're on the phone with or Zooming with or whatever, or in real time with, and they keep complaining about the same thing, the reality of it all is, okay, well, Mars is 8 weeks. You have 8 weeks to do something different. So you can start complaining about that. Because if you're not willing to change whatever it is you're complaining about, I can't help you. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You're just not willing to change. And I know that may sound harsh, but remember, you're here to reserve your energy. If your glass is getting empty because you're constantly helping others, doing, and you're not protecting your own, you're doing a disservice to yourself. So that person who's venting to you, and you're holding space for them to vent, they have 8 weeks. They have 8 weeks. That's 2 months to change something. We have Venus that stays in its sign for about 5 to 6 weeks. And Venus defines how they value themselves. So if that person isn't doing something to change something, we have to ask, well, they're not valuing themselves. They're causing themselves to be sick. So they're not valuing themselves. They have 5 to 6 weeks to change something. So here's the observation, people. Go find out where you have Taurus, Cancer, and Gemini in your chart. And that's where everything's happening. That's the how it's happening. I will see you all next time. 1 second. I gotta go. Until we meet again. Bye-bye for now. Remember, if you have questions, comments, or observations, you can email healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I do look forward to witnessing all that you are doing and shining my light on you so you can see who you are and have the courage and confidence to step into your soul's work. Bye-bye for now.